Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of Cats. Now this is a movie adaptation of the musical of the same name. It's a very famous and long-running musical on Broadway, and I knew next to nothing about it before watching this film. So I went into this pretty much as blind as I possibly could, and so let's talk about this movie. From what I gathered from the plot, this film basically focuses on this group of cats and takes place over the course of a night, and they're all vying for the chance to be chosen by Judi Dench's cat character to be essentially reincarnated into a new life, and that's what they're all basically trying to go for. And we have Idris Elba's character, who is this evil, well, not evil, but kind of just the villain character of the film, trying to sabotage it and make it so that he himself is selected instead. And I'll be honest, the story is really dumb. It takes about an hour for me to even really figure out or comprehend what's happening. The film focuses on this Victoria character, I believe played by Francesca Hayward, and she's kind of the audience character where we're just kind of getting all of our exposition dumped into her. The film just kind of takes place from there. It's basically back to back songs for the first hour, and so there's very little dialogue or exposition necessarily outside of musical numbers, and so it's very jarring and it seems very confusing, because I understand like the opening first 10 minutes or so of the movie being just like the opening number and whatnot, then fine, whatever, but it just keeps going and doesn't stop for, like I said, about an hour, and some of the lyrics are hard to understand because they're being sang, and there was just a large portion of the time where I was very confused as to what was even happening in this film. Yeah, it's very jarring if you don't know what you're going into. The CGI is what people complain about the most, at least from the trailers, and I really didn't have a huge issue with it because, again, it's a film about cats, so they're supposed to act and look like cats, and I thought that all the actors did good jobs in that respect. I think it's going to make some people feel uncomfortable just because of how cat-like they seem. There's a lot of choreography and dance movement, which is very feline-esque, but that's what they're supposed to be doing, and so I thought that all the actors did good jobs in that aspect. The music generally is pretty good. The orchestra part is really well done, sounds really good in theater. All the cast members did really good singing, I thought, especially at the solo numbers. Like the second half of the film after the first hour, I liked the majority of those songs because they actually had some sort of substance to them. I didn't feel like they were just basically singing to advance the plot. There was actually just substance, and I actually got more engaged with those songs than the first hour of the film. The music was also pretty good, and like I said, the choreography is pretty on point and very feline-esque. It's just really hard to get into it, and I can understand why people are going to be very turned off by this movie. Just, again, because the story is just really dumb. It doesn't really have a lot of substance to it, which I think is the biggest drawback, because Jennifer Hudson, also in the movie, has the big memory solo number that's very popular and basically the only thing that I really know from the movie. She has the most emotional backstory, arguably, of the whole film, and we barely ever get to see a glimpse of her. She's not really hardly in the film for more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the most, and so it's really hard to feel for her big solo number, her big moment, when we hardly know anything about her, and she's just been kind of peeking out of doorways and everything for the majority of her time in the film. And if there's this like a direct, pretty much adaptation of the stage play, and this is how it's done there, fine, lovely, whatever. But it just didn't really work for me because I just couldn't really get into any of these characters because of how fast the film moved and how it just didn't really slow down to really let you get to know any of these characters or anything like that. Every other musical that I've seen in the last 5-10 years, Greatest Showman, Moulin Rouge, Les Mis, they all are longer movies, but they also take a lot of time to focus on their main central characters and give them development and make you actually care about them. And this film just didn't do that. It was really hard to connect with anyone, and overall I'd say the film is fine, I guess, or okay at the best, really, because if you know what you're going into and you're like a massive fan of the Cats stage performance or stage production, then you're probably going to enjoy this. I assume it's a direct adaptation, and so you'll probably like it. But even me, who's like a big fan of musicals, I just couldn't really get into it because I just couldn't really get into the story or relate to the characters or anything. The music, like I said, it's well done. Choreography is really, really good, but it has to have some substance to it instead of just having this general, really weird story going on, which yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But those are my thoughts on Cats. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. What is your favorite musical as well? I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts on that. I have my favorite, but let me know yours. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again. If you so choose, I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.